Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And we have some major breaking news while SmackDown is on. But I think this is more important than SmackDown at this point. Man, oh man, there's so many WWE videos I wanted to cover today, or cover this week, and never got to. And unfortunately, because things keep going current, probably won't get to address them. Man, we want to talk about the Netflix deal, but we didn't talk about that stupid train wreck right now. But nonetheless, we have breaking news. Vince McMahon, the boss of WWE, essentially. I mean, I know he did sell it to Endeavor, but I mean, he's still high up executive in TKO, has officially resigned. That's right, Vince McMahon has resigned from TKO and his position. So there were some allegations, well, serious allegations that I can't even really talk about without being demonetized by YouTube in this video. But basically, there was a serious allegation about Vince McMahon in one of the lawsuits that he was sued for a couple of years ago from a former employee who had alleged that he had done some, let's just say, for the sake of YouTube, not so good things. Very, 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 very bad things, she alleged. You can look it up if you haven't seen it yet, what it is. But nonetheless, Vince McMahon, because of this, Slim Jim are apparently like suspending their advertisements or sponsorship with WWE for the Royal Rumble tomorrow, which means we won't get to see that LA Knight commercial with snapping the Slim Jim because of this. We won't get to see Randy Savage for a brief moment. Snap into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Won't see that. And supposedly another major sponsor is also, unnamed sponsor, is also stepping back from WWE because of these serious allegations. Now, a Vince McMahon spokesman said that they will fight these allegations, but that obviously really doesn't matter to TKO at this point. Excuse me. TKO, I'm almost assuming pressured him to resign. He resigned. I don't know if this is an actual resignation because, you know, we've seen the story before. He resigned in 2022, but he was still kind of in charge of WWE, even though he wasn't doing anything in WWE. Because he's the major shareholder in WWE, and you know, he got himself back, I think in January, to orchestrate the sale of WWE. He basically did that because it was his company and he wanted to do that. But now that the company is essentially owned by someone else, it's going to be much harder for him to come back this time around. And I think this time around, maybe for good. However, that being said, a lot of people are wondering, well, does this mean he's gone, like, in terms of ties with WWE? No, that does not mean anything, unless there's some secret meeting going on that we don't know. But basically, Vince McMahon, despite selling WWE, he still owns 49% of the company, the way it was rearranged with TKO, or with Endeavor. So the way it's structured is he's still like, he's basically a board member until he dies, essentially. So he's still, even with this, him resigning, wink, wink, he is still involved with WWE because he still controls things. Like, he's still a part of it. That's why he did this deal with Endeavor. There was a lawsuit a while back citing that Vince McMahon put himself back in power so he could sell it to someone that would keep him, versus going with someone who would pay more money but wouldn't want to bring him back. That was one of the things that had been alleged. So, don't know. Don't know what's going to end up happening. Don't know what's going to end up happening. But he resigned. And it's just really, really sad, and they had to come to this. Vince McMahon has had an empire for decades. He's had an empire for decades of WWE, WWF. And I call it WWF. It should be called WWF. It should never have been called WWE to begin with. His stupid lawsuit, the Animal Company or whatever. But he's owned WWF, for decades, since he got it in 1982 from his father. He has been on top of the wrestling world for a long time. Vince McMahon knows that this whole keeping everything locked up doesn't work anymore in this day and age. Doesn't work anymore, and feel for anybody that anything happened to them or whatever. But Vince McMahon has been his own worst enemy. He knew damn well that he was on a tight leash with TKO and Endeavor, and here's the results, man. This is the result of that. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how everything goes forward now. Now, again, Vince McMahon really wasn't doing creative at this point anyways. Triple H was well more into the creative by the time TKO, officially became a thing, once it became owned by Endeavor. But Vince McMahon was still heavily involved in a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, for contents and whatnot, the contracts and, this stupid Netflix deal, which I'm at some point I'm going to talk about that fucking deal, the Netflix deal, but that train wreck in itself. But there's a lot of things going on that Vince McMahon was involved with, behind the scenes in terms of booking stuff. I think he even helped book a UFC event recently when they were, trying to do a Saudi Arabia event or whatever over there, because I know WWE does, the Saudi Arabia events because of Vince McMahon. There are a lot of things that he was still doing behind the scenes, despite not being involved in creative. So it's going to be really interesting to see how TKO handles stuff going forward without him, if he actually is not involved in the company anymore. Because I say that very loosely, because he is still a board member. He still has his foot in WWE, unless they buy out his stock, which I don't think Vince is going to allow that. Maybe it will happen, but as of right now, it is still a very unknown area. And again, if you want to know what the allegations are against Vince McMahon, just look it up. I can't really say it on here because, I don't want to get demonetized and all that. But the allegations are out there. They're very, very disturbing allegations for sure. And because of that, he has now resigned. Ripple effect has happened in the WWE. That's all I'm going to say about this. Comment, rate, if you like this videos, please subscribe, hit the notification bell for all this latest content. Thank you. And that's about it. I am the Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace.